It doesn't even need to be in a fancy sleeve. You can just photocopy the pages and staple it up and just mail it on in a manila envelope. I'm cool with that, you know? Yeah. Ooh. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique, but I go by Dom. And in today's video, we have our very first book haul of the year. Yeah, just in time for what? Black History Month. Yes, happy Black History Month. I have been so excited for this month and I've been thinking about it since November. As you guys know, I am on a mission this year to read more intentionally, but also to get into some classics, specifically Black classics. So with that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into this video. In today's haul, I have about 19 to 20 books to go over with you guys. I'm hoping to not keep you for too long. You know I don't like editing long videos. So I'm gonna share with you all of the books that I've purchased in the last couple of weeks collectively, including some of the new releases that we talked about in my most anticipated books for 2025. So let's just jump right into it. So for the first book, this one is so important and one of the ones that I have in my Black Classics category, and I had to start off with this. This is a book that I find gets quoted quite a bit in Black literature, and that is what piqued my interest in wanting to read it. So first up, we have Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. I'm so excited to read this. I end up getting a copy on Book Outlet. So happy about it. This is a large print version. This is more my speed. If I could get every book like this, I would. Anytime you guys see me complaining about margin and spacing, it's not because there's too many words, it's that there's too many words on the one page and it's very hard for my eyes to track. That's all. Not because I feel like there's too many words in the book, although some books are definitely, it feels like they're trying to get to a word count. But anyway, I was hoping to get this cover. What I had ordered was not this. So when I opened it, I was like, yes. So it says it's one of the most important works of the 20th century in American literature. This book was written in 1937. It says Their Eyes Are Watching God is an enduring Southern love story sprinkling with wit, beauty, and heartfelt wisdom, told in the captivating voice of a woman who refuses to live in sorrow, bitterness, fear, or foolish romantic dreams. It is a story of fiercely independent Janie Crawford and her evolving selfhood through 3 marriages and a life marked by poverty, trials, and purpose. And it says a true literary wonder. I'm so excited to read this. I'm not going to read all of the synopsises for you guys because 20 books and all the synopsis. You remember my first book haul and how it was 40 odd minutes? I'll never do that to myself again. Next, we have another literary giant, and if you don't know who I'm about to talk about next, shame on you. We've got Miss Toni Morrison. I kind of went ham, but there were too many books to choose from. There is so much of her catalog that I've wanted to read for years. Because we're reading more intentionally this year, I figured, why not just get all the ones that I want to read right now? So that's what I did. So let me just run through them right quick with you. So we have A Mercy, and the cover is really pretty. I'm excited to read it. I think this is one of her more recent works. When did this come out? 2008. So when I say more recent works, in comparison to the other books that I have in my pile. So yes, we're excited to read A Mercy. Then we have Jazz. This book sounds so messy. Okay, so this one follows a guy by the name of Joe Trace. He's a middle-aged waiter and moonlights as a door salesman at Cleopatra Beauty Products. It says he shoots his teenage lover to death. At the funeral, Joe's wife Violet attacks the girl's corpse. I don't know what to expect. Next, we have Sulu. I think that next to Beloved, this is the next book that I'm most excited to read from Toni Morrison. Another one that might be just as messy as Jazz. Next, we have Song of Solomon. My aunt told me that this was going to be a hard read. I think she got into reading Toni Morrison's work while she was in university, and she said that she found this book to be harder to read than Beloved. Beloved is like her favorite book. I was watching a video and somebody was saying that this was a lot easier to read than Beloved. And I find that interesting that there are two different perspectives. I'm always having to remember that in the book space, we all feel and believe different things about books. We all take different things from the books that we read. You know what I mean? Because my aunt said that this book is complex. So, Milkman Dead was born shortly after. Milkman Dead? Is that his name? Milkman Dead was born shortly after a neighborhood eccentric hurled himself off of a rooftop in a vain attempt at flight. For the rest of his life, he too will be trying to fly. With this brilliantly imagined novel, Toni Morrison audaciously transfigures the coming-of-age story. As she follows Milkman from his Rust Belt city to the place of his family's origin, Morrison introduced an entire cast of strivers and seerists, liars and assassins, the inhibitions of a fully realized Black world. This sounds really, really interesting. And then finally, we have our beloved. I have been wanting to read this book for years. I remember taking this book out many, many years ago at the library because your girl was trying to be deep, you know? I really have been trying for years to read Black literature, and I mean classic Black literature, sorry. Let me be specific. And this year, I think because I have my channel, I have y'all to hold me accountable. So hold me accountable, okay? I already know what this book is about because I've watched the movie many, many times. I remember being very scared watching it as a kid, and then I watched it again as an adult, and I was like, oh, this isn't scary. This isn't scary in the sense of like horror movie, but it is horrifying in some of the things of Setha's past. Yeah, I gotta brace myself for this. Now that I'm gearing up to read this book, I'll have better context, and I'm excited to put the two together. Speaking of movies and books, this is my favorite book. And the movie is my favorite movie, the first one, the original. I was thinking for the month of February that I was gonna reread this, but because I have so many other books on my TBR, I don't know that I'll get the chance. But if you haven't read the book yet, you should. What are you waiting for? It's February. Next, we have another literary giant. Listen, I'm coming in hot, back to back to back. Okay? James Baldwin. Yeah, what would this video be without some James Baldwin? So I've got two books. There are other books within his catalog that I really, really want to read, but we only got two, and they are If Beale Street Could Talk and Go Tell It on the Mountain. Yeah, I just know this is gonna make me bawl. I just know it. And then we have Go Tell It on the Mountain. Yes, I am so intrigued by the American church. I really am. Baldwin's first major work, Go Tell It on the Mountain, has established itself as an American classic with lyrical precision and psychological directness, resonating symbolic power and a rage that is at once upon relenting and compassionate. Baldwin chronicles a 14-year-old boy's discovery on Saturday in March 1935 of the terms of his identity as the stepson of the minister of a storefront Pentecostal church in Harlem. Baldwin's rendering of his protagonist's spiritual, sexual, and moral struggle of self-invitation opened new possibilities in the American language and in the way Americans understand themselves. Then we have two memoirs. First, we have The Color of Water by James McBride, a Black man's tribute to his white mother. The name of this book to me, I don't know, it just sounds so like poetic. Is it just me? Anyway, I got this book recommendation from watching Mara's video in November when she was doing Black November, and it just sounded so intriguing. As you guys know, I'm not into nonfiction, but the way she spoke about this book really made me want to read it. So I had to get it. And next we have Miss Maya Angelou. Why did I say it like that? I know why the caged bird sings. This is book 1 in her series of memoirs. I think she has a total of 5. I'm not sure, but I'll look it up and I'll pop it up on the screen. But I'm so excited to read this. I think that her story is so interesting. So I had to get my hands on this. Let's keep this train going. Next up, we have Deathless Divide by Justina Ireland. I know you're probably tired of hearing me talk about this series. It's a duology, and the first book is Dread Nation. I'll pop it up right here. You know what I heard? I heard that this book is better than the first one, and I loved the first one. So guess who's very excited to continue on Jane's journey? Me. This book is actually 100 pages longer. Anyway, I'm excited. After the fall of Summerland, Jane McKinney and Catherine Devereaux hoped that their Devereaux, yes, this is a guilty pleasure. One of my favorite shows is The Golden Girls. Y'all remember Blanche? Come on, Blanche Devereaux. Anyway, Jane McKinney and Catherine Devereaux hoped their lives would get simpler, get out of town, stay alive, and head west to California. But the road through the undead expanse of 19th century America is anything but predictable, and they soon realize they'll have little to rely on but each other, whether they want to admit it or not. Short and sweet, not giving nothing away. That means you have to read the book. Pumped! Okay, next we have The Monsters We Defy by Leslie Penelope. I called her Leslie because her name's spelt that way, but I think phonetically it's pronounced Leslie. Anyway, you learn something new every day. Any hoodly doodly. I'm excited to read this. I seen this on, who did I see talk about this? 2 people, 2 reliable people. Kayla's Bookish Vibe and Shelby. Duh. It says Claire Johnson can talk to spirits, a gift that saved her during her darkest moments, now a curse that's left her indebted to the cunning spiritual world. So when a powerful spirit offers her an opportunity to gain her freedom, Clara seizes the chance, no questions asked. The task? Steal a magical ring from the wealthiest woman in the district. Clara can't accomplish this daring heist alone. To pull off the impossible, she'll need the help of an unlikely team, from a handsome jazz musician able to hypnotize with a melody, to an aging actor who can change his face. But as conflict in the spirit world begins to leak into the human one, an insidious mystery is unfolding, one that could cost Clara her life. Enough said. Let me tell you, my fantasy reads, they're giving 5-star. Yeah, I've already read this book, but I had to talk about it because I got these books all around the same time. First of all, Ring Shout, yeah, by P. Dejelay Clark. Fire. The concept, fire. Everything, fire. Okay, this book is short. It's a novella. I'm pretty sure would be considered that. I was eating a Cinnabon when I was reading this book. And I got some of the filling on the page. Yeah. Big back, big back, big back, big back. In America, demons wear white hoods. In 1915, the birth of a nation cast a spell across America, swelling the Klan's ranks and drinking deep from the darkest thought of white folks. All across the nations, they ride, spreading fear and violence among the vulnerable. They plan to bring hell to earth. But even Ku Kluxes can die. Standing in their way are Maurice Devereaux and her fellow resistance fighters, foul-mouthed sharpshooter and a Harlem hellfighter. Armed with blade, bullet, and bomb, they hunt their hunters and send the Klan's demons straight to hell. But something awful is brewing in Meccan, and the war on hell is about to heat up. Can Maurice stop the Klan before it ends the world? I'm waiting on part 2. Is there a part 2, P? Let me know. Let me know. As a matter of fact, I'm putting in my requests now. If ever you come across this video, send me a copy. Send me the ARC. It doesn't even need to be in a fancy sleeve. You can just photocopy the pages and staple it up and just mail it on in a manila envelope. I'm cool with that, you know? Yeah. I'm such a nerd. Anyway, nothing about this cover is intriguing to me. Let me tell you that. But if you read the book, then you'll understand and have a better visual idea of what's up. Shelby talked about this in October. Mara talked about it in November. I was so put off by the cover that it's almost like my ears shut off when Shelby was talking about it. I said, let me just skip this because I don't even care for horror. But then I was like, okay, let me see what this is about. And Mara talked about it and she said, you definitely gotta read it. So I said, I gotta read it. And I read it and I loved it. 5 stars. Then we have, this is a sci-fi that I was saying historical fiction. It's not historical fiction. And if you watched my very first vlog, you know that I talked about Octavia E. Butler and not being a fan of Kindred. Hey, before you click off the video, hear me out. Maybe I'll pop in the clip about why I didn't like it. Maybe, will I do that? Cue the clip.
I didn't care for that book. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I didn't care for Kindred, not The Water Dancer, because I found that I couldn't connect with the character. I didn't find her to be likable at all, but I also found that she was very detached, and her reactions to such a traumatic thing that happened to her, it didn't connect for me. Like, there was just something about it, and I'm like, you're not reacting the way that I personally think that, maybe because I was trying to put myself in her shoes, and I was like, you're not reacting the way that I think anybody else in your shoes would react. Like, it just felt off. And it just, I couldn't get into it because of that. But I did finish the book, and I was just like, when it was done, I was like, what the hell? Because I've heard such amazing things about Octavia Butler, but I was like, that story for me just was not it. So I want to give her another chance, obviously, because I know what she's done for literature, and I know what she's done for Black people in literature in the science fiction space. So I do want to read The Parable of Sowers, and I also want to read Fledgling.
Okay, so now that you've heard my reasoning, right? I never gave up on her writing. And I promised myself that I had to give her more than that one chance. With that being said, I got my hands on Fledgling. Yeah. How freaking awesome is this cover? I don't care. I like the first one, but this is fire. Okay? Fire. I'm so excited to read it. Crazy. Whoever did the redesign for this, they need a raise. It says, Shori is a mystery, seemingly a young girl. She wakes up alone in the woods with critical wounds and traumatic amnesia, only to learn she is actually a 53-year-old vampire, the lost child of an ancient species that is driven by blood and lives in dark symbiosis with humanity. Genetically modified to be able to walk in daylight, Shori must use her rare gift to uncover whatever she can about her old life and figure out who wants to destroy her and the rest of her kind. I love me a good vampire novel. I sure do. And she's Black. Get into it. Let me just slip these ones right in here because they're on the newer side, you know? So first we have In the Romance Category, Only for a Week by Natasha Bishop. I've already read this book, so I'll talk to you about it soon. I will, to give you my thoughts. But this is the re-release. Just like how Kennedy Ryan re-released Real. Y'all know what's up. Anyway, very, very fun. First of all, the wedding invitation, please. And then the little chapter headings, get into all of it. I said, it's giving budget, right? It's giving budget? It's giving budget. This was very spicy. So I don't think this was meant to be a series when it was initially released, because when I was looking at the old cover, there was no indication that she was planning to release other books. But guys, hello, it says the Forever Falling series. I said I wasn't doing any more series, but the banter in this book was too good. I pre-ordered a couple of books because they're my most anticipated reads. This year was not a year for me to do a lot of book shopping. That was not the intent, because of course we're tackling our physical TBR, but also you guys know I had done the my most anticipated books of the year, so you know that I was gonna buy them. This is one of the ones, and we've got The Queen's Spade by Sarah Rowley. How pretty. I thought this book was gonna be like matte, like a matte finish, but it's not. But anyway, I thought it was really cool. If you are a historical fiction girly and you read this book is based on the same character. Sarah is a real life person, so it is based on Sarah Forbes Bonata. She was an African goddaughter of Queen Victoria, and she was kidnapped and gifted to the Queen. So in this book, she wants to get her revenge on the Queen for uprooting her life, where she was a princess, and bringing her to England against her own will. Her plan is to uproot the monarchy. And I haven't read it yet, but I'm very, very excited to get into it when I do. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And lastly, for my newest releases is Death of an Author by Nnedi Okorafor. I have to tell you guys, I actually didn't intend to purchase this book when I went to the bookstore, but y'all know how much hardcovers are in Canada, right? $37.99. And as much as I want the authors to get all of their coin, I do. The best time to buy is when the book is released, because yeah. First of all, this cover, I remember how I was glowing about this cover. I can't even get over. Let's get into it. First of all, this is it. As you can see, the background is kente cloth, right? But not only that, do you guys not see that it's like cybernetic chips? First of all, who is responsible? They need a race. They need a race. Then we got the sprayed edges. We love that because now it's coordinated. Then you have the inside. How pretty is that? The cybernetic bees. They're literally little robot bees and flowers. But that's not the best part. Get into this. Get into this. Excuse me? So you guys know that the book that the author is writing in this book, in this story, is called Rusted Robots. Let me tell you something. I opened this up in the bookstore and my mouth hit the floor. I haven't watched anybody else's video with them having a physical copy of this. I do know that others have talked about it, but it was my first time opening it up and seeing it. So you could literally take this off. You literally can take this off, the sleeve off, and just be like, yeah. Because this is the cover. The spine is still the same, but I can't even get over it. I'm sorry. I can't even get over it. If the book was terrible, I wouldn't even know and I wouldn't care because the cover is so pretty. But we know Nnedi for good work. So, excited. Very, very excited to get into this. If you're not intrigued to read this story, at the very least, go pick up the damn book. Don't you want something pretty on your bookshelves? Next, we have some historical fiction. I mean, we've already gone through some, but first up we have The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. Yeah, excited to read this. Been wanting to read this for a very long time, so I had to pick it up. I think most people have read this book, so I'm not going to read the synopsis, but we're going to get into it when I finally do get a chance to read it in one of my reading wrap-ups. So yeah, but next we have Sisters in Arms by Kaya Alderson. I actually seen Lex talk about this book, I think a couple of months ago. I'm not sure that she had read the book yet when she was talking about it. It might have been a recent pickup for her. It might have been in a haul. I'm not sure, but either way, it intrigued me. I said, you know, because I'm a historical fiction girly now. I don't need to keep telling you I'm in my historical fiction bag. I'm just a historical fiction girly now. Okay, guys? Like, that's it. This book is based on a true story. As the first and only all-black battalion of the Women's Army Crops, the legendary 6888, these brave women risk their lives to serve with honor against incredible odds. And lastly, we've got The American Queen by Vanessa Miller. I have had this on my radar for quite some time, and it just so happened to be available on Book Outlet. This is also based on a true story, and this would be considered my faith-based fiction. I'm so excited to read this. I have a ton of books that I'm planning to read for the month of February. My TBR is looking like top tier. It's giving all 5-star reads. I'm not gonna lie to you. I will share with you that one of the books on my TBR for the month of February for sure, or two really, are Beloved, gotta read it, and Their Eyes Are Watching God. And that is it. That is it. I'm so happy that I was able to share all of these amazing books with you guys. I'm so pumped for this month, and I hope you guys are as well. Let me know in the family group chat, because you guys know that's what the comment section is now. If you haven't put two and two together, the comment section is the family group chat, okay? Let me know in the family group chat if any of these books are on your radar. Have you read any of these books as of yet? What were your thoughts? You know, be honest with me in the comment section. I love full transparency. You don't have to sugarcoat it with me. We're all family here, okay? Yeah, let me know. What are you reading this month if you do have a TBR? I don't care about TBRs, guys, but for this month, I know I have to come a little bit more intentional than I've been coming. So let me know. Let me know down in the comment. Let me know in the family group chat. I really want to know. You guys know how much I love talking to you guys, no matter how delayed my responses may be. Yeah. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all so much, and I will catch you in the next one, God willing. Bye.